Here's the scene. Tuesday evening. You're sitting across from your wife at the kitchen table, the same oak table you assembled the week you moved to Topeka 17 years ago. Pot roast, mashed potatoes, her glass of wine, your glass of water. She's telling you about something at work, a meeting, a new initiative, when her phone buzzes. She stops, picks it up, reads, and smiles at the screen. Not the smile she gives you. A different one, the kind that belongs to whoever's on the other end. She puts the phone face down, picks up her fork, doesn't finish her sentence. You wait. She doesn't notice. That was my kitchen. My wife Imogene. My Tuesday. My name is Marvin Thornton. 12 years in the Army. Fort Riley, 2 deployments, logistics command until I'm mustered out. Now I run operations for a freight company here in Topeka, Kansas. 400 trucks, where they need to be before sunrise. Discipline isn't something I practice. It's something I am. Imogene and I met when I was 26. She was working reception at a dental office on Gage Boulevard, had a laugh that filled the room, and wasn't afraid of quiet. I like that. Married in 11 months. Our daughter Ada came 2 years later. She's 15 now, sharp, careful, watches everything. 17 years. Most of them solid. Not flashy. Not loud. Solid. I came home. She was there. We ate together. We talked about real things or said nothing at all, and both were fine. The rhythm broke in October. Imogene got a new boss. Malcolm Varner, mid-40s, transferred from the Kansas City office. Ran team-building workshops. Organized off-site retreats. Used words like authenticity and radical self-care and holding space. Imogene came home from his first all-staff meeting with a notebook full of phrases I'd never heard her use. He says we need to honor our inner boundaries, she told me over dinner. Okay. He says most women sacrifice too much at home and don't even realize it. I set my fork down. Do you feel like you sacrifice too much? She looked at me like I'd missed the point entirely. That's not what I'm saying, Marvin. Then what are you saying? You should just know. First time she said that. Not the last. By November, the mornings weren't ours anymore. Imogene started meditating, 20 minutes in the spare room, door closed. Then guided journaling. Then a weekend retreat in Lawrence with colleagues from Malcolm's team. I drove her, picked her up Sunday evening. She looked different. Not refreshed. Reorganized. Like someone had moved the furniture inside her and called it improvement. I think I've been living for other people, she said in the car. Which people? She stared out the window. I don't want to fight about this. I'm not fighting. I asked a question. See? This is what Malcolm talks about. The interrogation energy. I kept my eyes on I-70. Interrogation energy. From a man who asked one question. That night, I reached for her in bed. Nothing dramatic. My hand on her shoulder, the way I'd done for 17 years. She was on her phone, scrolling through Malcolm's team channel. Can you put the phone down? I said. She didn't look up. We're not that kind of couple, Marvin. I pulled my hand back. Lay there in the dark, trying to figure out what kind of couple we were. December. The phone became a wall. At dinner, buzzing, checking, that smile at the screen. In the living room, opposite end of the couch, legs tucked under her, scrolling. I'd say her name twice before she'd look up. In bed, always in bed. The blue glow of her screen was the last thing I saw before she turned away. She started attending Sunday meditation groups. Then Wednesday evening alignment sessions. Then a weekend silent retreat where phones were encouraged, but husbands weren't mentioned. I found my Sangha, she told me one Monday morning. Sangha, a word that hadn't existed in our house 60 days ago. I respect it, I said. But it's not me. Her face went cold. Nobody asked you to join, Marvin. I just need you to stop resisting my growth. I wasn't resisting anything. I was standing in the same spot I'd always stood. She was the one who moved. I started eating dinner in the garage. I'd set up a workspace out there 2 years ago. Desk, lamp, laptop for late-night logistics reports. Now I added a small table, a microwave, a coffee maker. I'd plate my food, carry it out, eat while reviewing delivery routes, clean up, come inside when the house was dark. Imogene didn't ask why. Not once. Ada did. She showed up in the garage on a Thursday, backpack over one shoulder, holding a plate of leftover lasagna. Mom's being weird, Dad. I know, sweetheart. She told me I wouldn't understand her journey because I haven't done the work. Ada made air quotes with one hand. I'm 15. What work? She's going through something. She's going through it without us. I didn't argue, because she was right. January brought the conversation I keep replaying. Saturday morning. Ada was at a friend's house. Imogene came downstairs in her meditation clothes, poured coffee, sat across from me at the kitchen counter. "We need to talk," she said. I set my tablet down. "I'm here. You're always here. That's part of the problem. Being home is a problem? Occupying space without connecting." Malcolm says. I don't want to hear what Malcolm says. Her eyes went sharp. He understands what I'm going through. He's your boss, Imogene, not your therapist. He sees me. 3 words. Said quietly, looking into her coffee. He sees me. In the military, you learn to identify the sentences that change everything. Contact left flank. Mission is compromised. He sees me. And I don't. I said, "You should just know, Marvin. I shouldn't have to spell it out. You've been saying that for 4 months. You should know. You should know. I'm asking you. Right now, tell me what's wrong." She opened her mouth, closed it, took her coffee upstairs. I sat at the counter for 20 minutes. The faucet was dripping. I didn't fix it. The messages I found weren't romantic. That almost made it worse. Imogene left her laptop open in the kitchen one evening, ran upstairs for something. The screen showed her conversation with Malcolm Varner. I wasn't looking for it, but the words were right there. "Malcolm, your husband sounds controlling. You deserve space to breathe." "Imogene, he's not controlling. He just expects things to stay the same." "Malcolm, that is control, Imogene. Expecting you to stay the same person he married." "Malcolm, you've outgrown that house. You just haven't admitted it yet." I scrolled. Weeks of messages. Months. Real partners evolve together. If he can't keep up, that's not your problem. You don't owe him explanations for your growth. Most women in your situation wait too long to act. Don't be most women. Not a single romantic word. No flirting. No innuendo. Just a man with a keyboard and a theory, dismantling every foundation we'd built. Message by message. Week by week. Like water through concrete. Patient, steady, and impossible to put back. Imogene came back downstairs. Saw my face. Glanced at the laptop. "Did you read that?" "Yes." 3 emotions crossed her face in 2 seconds. Surprise, anger, and something that looked like shame but didn't stay. "That's private, Marvin. It's about me. Malcolm is helping me process. He's not processing anything. He's telling you your husband is the problem." Every single message. Find me one where he says, "Have you told Marvin how you feel?" One where he suggests talking to me directly. You won't find it. Because his advice only works if I'm the enemy. She grabbed the laptop, pressed it shut. "You wouldn't understand. You haven't done any of the work." I stood up, kept my voice level. "I've done 12 years of work, Imogene. The kind where people don't come home. Don't lecture me about doing the work." She left the room. I went to the garage, sat at my desk, hands flat on the surface. Steady, the way they taught us. After the laptop conversation, things didn't cool down. They hardened. Imogene stopped pretending we were fine. She stopped pretending anything. The retreats doubled. Every weekend now, sometimes Friday through Sunday. She came home with books I'd never seen her buy. Titles about reclaiming your authentic self and the courage to outgrow. She left them on the coffee table, spines facing up, like evidence. And Malcolm's voice kept coming through. Not just in messages, in her mouth. I could hear him in the way she phrased things. "You create a hostile environment by existing in opposition to my growth." That's not something Imogene Thornton says. That's something Imogene Thornton repeats. One Sunday night she came home from a retreat and sat at the kitchen counter while I was washing dishes. I didn't turn around. "I've been thinking about separation," she said. I turned off the water, dried my hands, faced her, thinking about it, or told to think about it. That's not fair. Neither is living with a woman who outsources her feelings to her boss. She slammed her palm on the counter. He's not just my boss. He's the only person in my life who tells me the truth. The truth that I'm controlling. The truth that you've outgrown me. The truth that you should separate. I folded the towel. Sounds convenient. All the hard decisions made for you by someone who doesn't sleep in this house. She stood up. Maybe that's why I trust him. Maybe that's why you shouldn't. She went upstairs. Door closed. Lock clicked. I stood in the kitchen, dishwater going cold, and realized we'd just had the most honest conversation in months. And it was about another man's opinion of our marriage. The boxing gym was on Kansas Avenue, downtown. Iron and oak. I'd gone there years ago, right after mustering out, When civilian life felt like wearing someone else's uniform, and I needed somewhere to put the energy that no longer had a mission. Coach Denny remembered me. 62 years old, hands like cinder blocks, voice like gravel on a country road. Thornton, thought you were done. Not done, just away. He handed me wraps, pointed to the heavy bag in the corner. Didn't ask a single question. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. 45 minutes. Bag work, footwork, shadow boxing. No sparring. I didn't need to fight a person. I needed to fight the thing in my chest that locked up every time I walked through my own front door and felt like a stranger. Denny watched me one Thursday, arms crossed by the ring. You're punching angry, Thornton. Maybe I am. Angry misses. Hit like you're building something. I didn't understand that until later. February. The hotel room. Imogene said she needed space for the weekend. Said it the way you'd order a coffee. Flat, practiced, not looking up from her phone. I think it would be good for both of us if you stayed somewhere for a couple of days. My house. My mortgage. My garage. And she was sending me to a hotel. I packed a bag. Drove to the Ramada on Topeka Boulevard. Room 214. Second floor. Friday night. Edge of the bed. TV on mute. Some game show. Audience clapping in silence. Bag by the door, still zipped. The air conditioner hummed. Parking lot through the curtains. A gas station sign blinking red across the road. I called Iris Shelby. Friend since she moved into the house on Elm 8 years ago. Her husband passed in 2019. She became the person I could say the quiet things to. She asked you to leave your own house. Iris said, for the weekend. Marvin, she's not finding herself. She's losing you. Maybe she wants to. No, she thinks you're permanent. Like a foundation. Something that doesn't move no matter what she piles on top. I looked at my packed bag. Untouched. Like it already knew I shouldn't have come. Foundations crack, Iris. I know. That's what scares me. Went home Sunday. Slept on the couch. Didn't announce it, didn't explain. Blanket from the hall closet. Ceiling in the dark. 5 weeks. The routine held me together. Up at 5. Gym or work. Garage for dinner. Couch at 11. Imogene moved through the house like I was something she'd rearranged and stopped seeing. Week 2. She rearranged the living room bookshelf. Removed our wedding photo from the mantel. Put a crystal in its place. Week 3. She told Ada that traditional family structures were just one model. Ada came to the garage that night, jaw tight. She said marriage is a social construct. What did you say? I said my biology homework is a social construct too, but I still have to turn it in. Week 4. Something shifted. Imogene made my favorite, chicken fried steak, gravy from scratch, green beans the way her mother taught her. Set the kitchen table for 2. Candles. No phone in sight. I came in from the garage. Saw the table. Looked at her. Sit down, she said. Soft voice. The old voice. The one from before the notebooks and the retreats and the Sangha. We ate. She asked about my day. Actually asked. Actually listened. Laughed at something I said about a driver who took a wrong turn into a cornfield outside Lawrence. For 40 minutes it felt like 2019 again. Before Malcolm. Before the phone wall. Before the spare room door and the lock and the silence. I reached across the table. Took her hand. She held it. Looked at me. Something real in her eyes. Or something I needed to be real. I've missed this, she said. So have I. Maybe we can start over. I wanted to believe it. Anyone watching my life would have believed it. For 4 days, she was present. No phone at dinner. She asked about Ada's school, about my routes, about Denny at the gym. Sat next to me on the couch, close enough that our shoulders touched. Didn't mention Malcolm. Didn't mention retreats. Didn't use a single word that came from someone else's vocabulary. Thursday night. She brought tea to the living room. Sat beside me. Put her head on my shoulder. I'm sorry, she whispered. I lost my way. Her phone was on the kitchen counter. Face up. It buzzed. She didn't move. Didn't reach for it. But I could see the screen from where I sat. The preview of a notification. Malcolm Varner. How is it going? Is he softening? Is he softening? I didn't move. Her head stayed on my shoulder. She smelled like lavender. Something from the retreats, probably. I sat there for 5 full minutes feeling the weight of her head and the weight of those 3 words and understanding. With a clarity that felt like ice water. That this warmth was choreographed. That somewhere in a chat window, she'd told Malcolm she was trying a new approach. And he was checking her progress. She went to bed. I stayed on the couch. Morning. 6:15. Making coffee. Her phone still on the counter. Another notification. Malcolm Varner, stay strong. Don't cave. He'll come around or he won't. Either way, you win. Either way, you win. 4 days of kindness. Chicken fried steak. Her hand in mine. Her head on my shoulder. All of it staged. Coached. Reported. 1 strike. That's what it takes with someone who spent 12 years identifying threats before they materialized. You don't get a second angle on something this clear. I called Travis Ingersoll at 8:30. Iris had given me his name months ago, best family attorney in Shawnee County. I hadn't been ready then. I want a file, I said. Clean. Fair. Primary custody of my daughter. How long have you been separated? 5 weeks on the couch. 7 months in every way that matters. Come in at noon. I told Ada after school. She was in the garage, sitting on her stool, peeling an orange. I'm filing for divorce. She set the orange down, looked at me, dry-eyed. 15 years old with the composure of someone twice that. Finally, she said. 1 word. She'd been waiting longer than I had. Imogene found out 2 days later when the papers arrived at the house. I was at work. She called 7 times. I answered the 8th. You're divorcing me? Yes. Without even trying? 17 years of trying. 7 months of you telling me I wasn't enough. I'm taking you at your word. Malcolm said. She stopped herself. Go ahead. Tell me what Malcolm said. Because he's been writing your line since October, and I've been listening to every one. I can fix this, Marvin. I'll stop the retreats. I'll transfer departments. Thursday night. Your head on my shoulder. I'm sorry. I lost my way. You remember that? Yes. Malcolm texted you during it. Is he softening? Those were his words. Were they yours too? Silence. You told me for 7 months I should just know what's wrong. So here's what I know. Thursday wasn't real. The dinner wasn't real. The only real thing left in that house is in the garage doing her homework. Marvin, please, you're not that kind of couple. Your words, Imogene. Not mine. Turns out you were right. I hung up. Stood in the freight yard. Trucks idling around me. Cold Kansas wind biting through my jacket. She showed up at the freight company the next day. Walked right into the dispatch office. My dispatcher Earl looked at me, looked at her, quietly stepped out. Imogene stood in the doorway. Eyes swollen. Hair unbrushed. The woman who'd spent 7 months performing composure and spiritual growth looked like she hadn't slept. You can't do this, she said. It's already done. We have a daughter. I know. That's half the reason. What's the other half? You asked someone else how to handle your husband, and he told you to break me down until I either bent or disappeared. I didn't bend, Imogene. Malcolm was just, if you finish that sentence with helping, this conversation is over. She pressed her lips together. Tears came, real or rehearsed. I couldn't tell anymore, and that was the worst part. 7 months of wondering which version of my wife I was looking at. When you can't tell the difference between her real tears and her performance, something has died that can't be brought back. I love you, she said. You love the idea that I'll always be standing here. That's not the same thing. She stood there for 30 seconds. Then she turned and walked through the dispatch floor, past the route boards and the coffee machine and Earl pretending to read a clipboard. The door closed behind her. Earl looked at me. You all right, boss? Yeah. He didn't push it. Good man. 3 weeks after filing, Iris told me something that locked the last piece into place. Malcolm Varner had done this before. 2 women at his previous office, Kansas City branch. Both married. Both walked the same path. Retreats, boundary language, loyalty redirected from husband to Malcolm. One divorced. The other transferred out just before her marriage collapsed. He never crosses a line HR would catch, Iris said. No romance. No touching. He just rewires them. Collects their loyalty like someone building a congregation. Influence without accountability, I said. Exactly. Imogene would find this out eventually. By then it wouldn't matter to me. I signed the lease on a 2-bedroom apartment on Hentoon Street. 2nd floor, east side. Ada chose her room, the one with the window facing sunrise. Morning light, she said. For reading. We painted it together on a Saturday. Sage green, her choice. She got a stripe of paint across her cheek and didn't notice for an hour. The boxing gym became ours. Saturday mornings. Coach Denny started teaching Ada footwork, jab cross, pivot, reset. She was quick. Light feet, sharp focus, the same economy of movement I recognized in my own reflection 20 years ago. She hits like she means it. Denny told me, arms folded. She does. We'd walk back to the apartment after, stop at the diner on 6th for pancakes. Ada across from me, hair tied back, knuckles faintly pink from the bag. Do you miss her? She asked once, syrup on her fork. I miss who she was before someone told her I was the problem. She chose to believe it, though. She did. That's the part that doesn't go away. No, it doesn't. The divorce went through in April. Travis handled it clean, no drama, no surprises. Imogene didn't contest custody. I think she knew what Ada would say if anyone asked, and she wasn't ready to hear it out loud. Moving day was a Saturday. Ada and I carried boxes down to the truck I'd rented. Halfway through, she stopped on the stairs, a box of books balanced on her hip. Dad, yeah. Thank you for not pretending. Pretending what? That it was okay? She kept pretending. You never did. I took the box from her. Some things aren't okay, Ada, and saying so isn't the same as giving up. She nodded, went back for another box. Imogene left Malcolm's department 3 months after the divorce was final, transferred to a different division, stopped the retreats, stopped the meditation groups, stopped using the language. Whether she finally saw what Malcolm was, a man who collected women's loyalty the way other men collect trophies, or simply lost her audience, I don't know. Didn't ask. She texted once. Short. No strategy, no script, no coaching visible behind the words. I'm sorry I stopped seeing you. I read it on the bench at Iron and Oak. Gloves off, sweat cooling on my neck. Ada was across the gym working the speed bag while Denny counted rhythm. I typed, I know. Sent it. Put the phone in my bag. Denny walked over. Towel on his shoulder. Looked at me the way coaches look at fighters between rounds. Checking for damage, not asking about feelings. You good, Thornton? I watched Ada. Hands up. Eyes forward. Moving like she'd been doing this her whole life. Getting there. He nodded. Remember what I said? Hit like you're building something. I pulled on my gloves. Walked to the heavy bag. First punch landed clean, straight, level, no wasted motion. The second was better. By the 10th, my breathing had settled into the rhythm that 12 years of service taught me, and 7 months of silence almost made me forget. Across the gym, Ada counted her own combinations out loud. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's the sound of building something. And I'm not done.